We obviously know the Brooklyn Nets have completely imploded. I do not blame Kevin Durant. I don't really blame anybody. I think Kyrie Irving set the tone. And they always say the people who succeed most in life, their personalities perfectly fit their jobs. And this is where I think Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie Irving are really solo artists who just happen to be brilliantly talented in a team sport. I think Aaron Rodgers would be better as a singer, not even in a band, just as a solo artist. Grab a guitar, do your own stuff. Kyrie Irving, we've seen it multiple times now, doesn't play well with others. In my industry, Keith Olbermann, really talented. Teamism, working with others, many close allies, it's not his game. That's why he's been fired 5 or 6 times. He's a brilliant writer, very thought-provoking guy. Emotionally, he can wear you out, but he just happens to be in an industry now with digital where he can pretty much do stuff on his own. That's actually perfect for his skill set and his personality. Listen, Aaron Rodgers and Kyrie Irving should have been tennis stars, should have been UFC or boxers. They're perfect for it. But sometimes you're just so gifted, and Kyrie and Aaron are, in a specific job that you make it work. But there are limitations to playoff success for both Aaron and Kyrie because there's so many talented people in those respective professions that there's people that are as talented or more talented that do work well in a team construct. They just don't happen to. A prime example of that with Aaron Rodgers is Brian Gutekunst, who runs the Green Bay Packers, was recently asked about the draft and Aaron Rodgers. And he said, I'm in communication with Aaron a lot in the offseason. But right now is his downtime, and he really enjoys his downtime, meaning, I'm not going to be able to really get a hold of Aaron Rodgers. Similarly, or conversely, Nathaniel Hackett, new Denver coach, former Packer assistant, was asked about Russell Wilson recently, and he said, Russ likes to be in charge. The guy loves practice. He loves the process. When the practice is over, he looks and says, can we do more? So that's a prime example. Russell Wilson, baseball player, shortstop, team construct, football, working with others. That's why he got so frustrated in Seattle. Pete Carroll wouldn't let him drive the offense and lead the offense. People think I just take shots at Aaron Rodgers, but you get more and more examples of this where you get guys who are really gifted. They're not built for this team stuff. Good enough to succeed in it, but not really great enough to dominate it like they should for their skills. Aaron Rodgers likes football and is great at football. He doesn't love it, nor is he totally committed to it. It's not who he is. It's not who he's ever been. He's got his money. He likes his free time. He doesn't pour over tape. This is stuff that's all understood within the league and, in fact, within the Packers organization. It's like Brian Gutekunst and Mark Murphy said this offseason. Aaron doesn't have a 3-year contract. He's got 3 one-year contracts. He's his own guy. He could leave the band at any moment. So Elon Musk bought Twitter and people freaked out. Listen, you've got to be able to get along with people. I say this to all you conservatives listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube. You do realize that all the TV shows you watch, all the movies you watch, even YouTube, Google, they're mostly run by liberals. Silicon Valley is overwhelmingly 90-10% run by liberals. If you don't want to use Google, if you don't want to use search engines, if you don't want to use technology, go live in the hills, but that's the reality of it. You better be able to understand people have opinions that don't align with yours. And I say this as liberals and Democrats melted down with Elon Musk buying Twitter. You do realize in my 25 to 30 years in broadcasting, everything you watch on TV that's sports and business is overwhelmingly run by conservatives. In my years at Fox, in my years at Disney, in my years in local TV, 14 years, conservatives owned, conservatives ran on a day-to-day basis, 80-20 split. So If you like sports, know those owners are mostly conservatives. By the way, the richest people in Los Angeles live in Beverly Hills. They voted for Trump. That's why I say you've just got to have the ability to handle people that see the world differently than you. You arch conservatives, you want to watch television? It's all made by liberals. And almost every product you own, there is a conservative behind it. Silicon Valley is mostly run by Democrats. A lot of those devices, that's conservative money. They're not going to go public with it. Listen, there's NBA owners. NFL owners are overwhelmingly conservative. There's NBA owners who are conservative. They just don't go public with it. So Jay Wright was asked a question on morning radio if he'd ever be interested in coaching in the NBA. And his answer was, who knows? That is a perfectly reasonable answer to a question. The media generally just doesn't like it. I was thinking about this the other day. The media is seeking closure on stories. They have a lead. They have an arc. They have the final paragraph, the close. They're always looking for closure on the stories. But if you ask me about my life right now, outside of my kids and my wife, the answer to almost every question is, who knows? I mean, I've been in LA for 6 years. I've had 3 houses. Will I be in the house I live in from this studio you're watching in 1 year? Who knows? My contracts run out at Fox and iHeartRadio in 3 years. Colin, will you be working at one or both? I don't know. The world's changing. There may be a new platform in 3 years that doesn't exist today, like a TikTok, where I could take my show globally. Who knows? Jay Wright's answer is an easy one to figure out. What he's saying is, I had a great college career. I'm going to hang around that university for about a year or two upstairs in a cubicle, and if I'm bored, I'll take calls about the NBA. Too often the media wants a definitive answer. Look at your own life. Outside of your family, isn't everything a who knows? When I started the volume, I called Mark Cuban. I leaned on some really smart people. And, I asked them, give me some advice for starting a company. And across the board, their answer was, don't be rigid. Be willing to pivot. You may figure out after 6 weeks something doesn't work, get rid of it. And something you didn't think worked does, double down on it. So their answer was, who knows? Be twitchy, be nimble, adapt. I think one of the things I see in America with unhappy people, I don't see this with happy people. I see this on social media with unhappy people. They're rigid. They need you to think just like them. I couldn't give a shit. I really don't. I care about me. You do what you want to do. I am always willing to take a phone call and listen to a pitch. And I think you're doing a disservice to you if you don't think the same. I know one of the hardest things for me to do at the volume is going to be to retain many of my most talented people. That's why I've got to make sure I keep in communication. We talk. How are things going? What can I do? How do I serve you? People should take the call. Always. Because who knows? So Jerry West has been deeply bothered by how he is portrayed in HBO's Winning Time, based on the Jeff Pearlman excellent book about Jerry Buss buying the Lakers and the years of Kareem and Pat Riley and Magic and Norm Nixon. Wildly entertaining. I really like it. But Jerry West is so bothered by it, he said he'll take it all the way to the Supreme Court, whereas HBO released a statement saying, this is not a documentary. We are not presenting it as a documentary. My takeaway on this is really simple. We should all be honored that people would write a book and do a film on our careers. And that at some point, basketball is art, and the people who create it are artist enablers. and Jerry West is the logo. That in itself is art, right? It's not like the commissioner drew that up. They went to a firm of artists and creators who made the logo. Jerry West has benefited from that art. He benefited from the artistry of Magic Johnson. And by the way, Los Angeles being the entertainment capital of the world. What a sales pitch to so many stars through the years. Don't you think that was attractive when Lou Alcindor was in Milwaukee and came to the Lakers? The ethereal living, the sunshine, the Pacific Ocean, Hollywood. So he has benefited greatly in his career from art and the artists in his community and that surround him. I mean, the biggest Laker fan for years was Jack Nicholson. They benefited the Lakers greatly from Los Angeles and the entertainment and movie industry. And now he is bothered by art, which he believes is framing him as a sociopath. No, it's not. It framed him in the early episodes as having a temper. His well-chronicled, difficult childhood has led to that. He acknowledges that is true. And so now he doesn't like how he's, by Hollywood, being presented. But Jerry needs to understand, he has been a 50-year beneficiary of the city of Los Angeles and those artists who have been such an attractive feature to many of the stars. For the record, Jeff Pearlman's book is better than the show, and many times the book is better than the following television or movie presentation. But I've never thought less of Jerry West watching this. That's the funny thing to me. The early stuff was over the top, but since then he's been a steady hand, in my opinion, watching Winning Time of the Lakers organization, which had a crazy time owner whose mom was kind of wacko, Kareem was stoic, Magic was fun and playful, and he had to balance all of it with a coach that almost died in a bicycle accident. But Jerry, if you benefit from something and then you feel like you're not benefiting from the same thing you benefited from, I'm not as sympathetic.